Welcome to Haunted Horizons GHOSTCAST with Alison Oborn, Craig Cameron and Cag Allwood from Haunted Horizons.
We're live now. We were live before, but unfortunately we were live on Cag's page. So if you missed that first little bit of it, then go to Cag Allwood's page and you'll see the beginning of the live feed there. So, but we were on, just not on the right page. But there you go, that's how it goes. All right, welcome to, we better get all professional now, shouldn't we? Welcome to Adelaide Haunted Horizons GHOSTCAST, episode 5. So tonight we're going to talk about all things Christmas. So I will just introduce myself. My name's Alison, and we have Craig, and we have, what's your name? Clag over there.
Cag. Never mind.
So we're gonna be doing a last one. We're going to celebrate Christmas, and we're going to be talking quirky things about Christmas. Maybe even things you didn't even know. So we're going to be looking at the origins of some of the things that we do at Christmas, where they came from. Craig, I believe, has been...
No, he hasn't.
No, he hasn't? I thought he was looking at child...
Sacrifices?
Yeah.
Well, I was, but
Christmas
I
child sacrifices, no. So Craig's got nothing for anybody tonight. So.
No, he has.
Oh, he has?
Yeah.
I've got some beauties.
Oh.
Well, maybe beauties.
Oh. See, this is the dangerous thing about Craig, isn't it, Cag?
Mm-hmm. You never know what
we gave him a topic. Mm-hmm. Cag actually sent him what he needed to learn about, what he needed to research, and then he was going to come and do that topic.
Oh, what a boring topic.
So I have no clue what Craig's going to be talking about tonight, but that makes it so much fun, doesn't it?
Well, my NBN went down, so I couldn't get too much.
Can you?
No.
So let's start with you then. What are you talking about tonight?
Well, I've got lots of good stuff. I've got it all written down.
Notes.
Well, not your notes. First thing I had a look at, because I thought it was really, really cool.
Okay. Christmas tarot cards.
Did you see those?
That was pretty cool.
Can I get a view of those?
Hi, Tony.
So it's a much better picture without
Child
me in it.
sacrifice.
Save
some presents.
Yeah,
I'm
it does, shame. So what's this? What's the Christmas tarot cards?
Well, what I was looking at is anything that was a little bit abnormal, but which had a Christmas theme. Mm. So there's 2 decks of the tarot cards that I found, which had a Father Christmas theme to it. And I thought that was really, really weird.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't normally get a Father Christmas thrown in. But the first picture looks like a dodgy, funny old man, really.
It does look kind of weird.
Christmassy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And the other thing is you don't have 25 major arcana cards in the tarot, so...
So did you have the whole deck?
Well, I could find the whole deck, but that one was in there.
Were they all Santa Claus on that? Or?
No, they're all Christmas imaged. So
okay.
You have all the imagery from a lot of different things. And
that would be pretty cool to have, though, wouldn't it? People might not know, but Craig, ask him next time, Craig actually reads the tarot cards.
That's a bit of a stretch. I can read the tarot cards.
You see, he can read the tarot cards.
But I bring them out on our investigations, our what do they call them?
Our Victorian Nights.
Yeah.
He doesn't do it for us, though.
He doesn't do it for us. I'm dying. He said he was going to give me a tarot card reading. I'm still waiting. So I think we need one. Christmas.
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 When did I say that?
Well,
Ages
I just
ago.
said
I
it.
remember saying
You
that.
did. You said
did.
you would give us a tarot card reading.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there because you
Yeah.
said you'd do one for me at the same time.
So I'll let you know how that goes. Karen went to Christmas party in the heat. Oh, I wouldn't like to be out on a Christmas party. We've had the air conditioning on in here all day, but we turned it off because it causes a terrible hum on the audio. And yeah, we just...
Yeah, Melinda's going to have to
be
watch
sweating,
this.
so...
Going to watch this later because she's at a niece's school concert. So
That's all right. You can watch it later. We're also, by the way, I don't know if you know, but this is the live version. You get all the warts and the stuff-ups like we did earlier. And that's what makes it fun. But we also put it up on YouTube, a little bit more sanitised version, so you can always catch up with it on there as well. So
Sanitised version.
Sanitised.
Well, let's go back to the tarot cards.
We
because
really
you got
don't know
off the
what
tarot
else.
cards.
That's good. So I'm not sure what else Craig's going to come up with. So.
Santa Claus. Cag would make a great Santa Claus. Or an elf.
I'd rather be an elf.
An elf.
No. All right, let's go back to what else have you got to tell us about tarot cards?
Well, not really much, but apart from the fact that this one here, which was a real one, which comes from some dodgy mythical deck that I found. Mm-hmm. So there's a whole range of those tarot cards, and the Santa Claus image sits in the card for the sun, which is the most powerful of the cards.
Oh, okay.
So I thought that was pretty cool, considering that Santa Claus is...
I'll just hold that up again, just so people know what we're talking about. So that one is the one... for the sun, is it?
Mm.
Yeah.
So they're both meant to be the sun, but the one over here, I don't quite know what's going on with that one. 25 doesn't quite make sense in tarot terms, but there might be some old decks out there.
Yeah.
The imagery I know of is coming from the Marseille deck of tarot cards, but they don't look very nice, so I don't like to use those.
So have we got anything to say about those?
Yeah, what do you reckon, Cag?
Where do you get them from?
Yeah, I want to know where you get them from because they're pretty cool. I don't do tarot, but...
Well, unless you know someone who goes into the esoteric arts, you'll probably have to go onto eBay. So it's like Ouija boards. If you go find people who can find Ouija boards and find the real old ones which summon the demons, get one of those. But you can get tarot decks specially made for different purposes as well.
Okay, cool. I have a Game of Thrones tarot card set, which I haven't even opened yet.
Well,
You're going to have to teach me how to read it.
You should get them out. There's only people with certain skills which can read them.
You're trying to say I've got no skill.
I've got tarot cards somewhere.
I've got Tyrion and all sorts of my tarot cards, and
pretty
dragons. Cool. So, actually, an interesting thing because you're saying about Santa Claus. Here's a little first. So you're talking about Santa Claus there and that being a bit scary and them not being that pretty. Did you know that prior to a certain time, in fact 1931, all right, Santa Claus images weren't pretty. They weren't the little ruby red outfit that he has and the nice beard and the jolly fellow. Yeah. So prior to 1931, what happened was Coca-Cola actually employed a graphic artist in 1931 so that they could put some adverts out. And he made them all pretty, but before that it wasn't. So there you go. Coca-Cola was the start of the Santa Claus that we know for Christmas time. So it was all Coca-Cola's fault, which I do believe we're all drinking at the moment.
Well, let's toast
product
to that.
placement. Here's to the merry Santa Claus. There you go.
Merry. Well, you got to have a happy Santa Claus, don't you? A grumpy one coming down the chimney.
Well, he used to be really scary.
Yeah, it's not
You look at the
nice.
old photographs, and even the people who were dressing up. I don't know if you saw the photo I put up for the advert for tonight. That's just one. There's a lot. In fact, if you go to Haunted Horizons, I did a video last year. I'll put it up, and it's the scariest kind of Santa Claus photographs. And they were creepy, weren't they? Even the people who dressed up, they were dressing up really creepy.
So Shane, you said you've got some tarot cards. What's your pictures on yours?
Yeah, what's your set, Shane? I love themed tarot cards. Okay. In fact, actually, the Game of Thrones one is actually behind me there.
Is it?
Yeah, it's sitting behind the Christmas tree. I can't do it like this because there. My new Christmas tree. So what else, Craig?
You're meant to relate to the imagery on the tarot cards. So you get the set
I
which
relate to
befits
Game of Thrones.
your skills.
Yeah, I relate to Game of Thrones.
You do.
I do.
Yeah. So you should start. Well, because you have sensitive skills, you should be doing it as well. You should be learning how to read the cards. You might be able to surprise yourself.
I might.
You
might be able
surprise
to
me.
teach me. Anyway,
Sensitive skills.
getting back to Christmas. What else have we got, Craig?
Getting back to Christmas.
Yep.
Well, I'm going down the quirky route. So what I'd like to do is come up. What are you doing with your notes?
Just my notes.
Cheating. I don't know. I've forgotten. What am I going to say here?
There was a lot of research done.
Oh, yeah. I hadn't done any research.
Oh,
so
traditional kings and queens. Excellent. Thank you, Shane.
Well, there you go.
Very nice.
Next time Shane comes on an investigation, we
He
should
can
get
do
him to
our
bring...
he can do our tarot card reading as well.
Ooh. Can you read the
So,
runes?
Elizabeth said about the runes.
Yeah. Can Craig read runes? Have you ever tried reading runes as well?
I know a little bit about runes, but I haven't tried reading them.
Okay. I think I have a set of runes actually. So
I'm as insensitive as
Insensitive.
rock.
You are as insensitive.
Yeah. So trying to, sit me down and learn something about a new way of doing something will probably never happen. But except tarot cards, they're cool.
All right. So what else has Craig got for us?
I thought that it might be interesting to talk about the timing of Christmas.
Okay.
Because as far as I can tell, the 25th of December, and correct me if I'm wrong, anyone who knows a little bit more about it than me, but December the 21st, we don't... 21st?
First?
25th.
You got a bit of a loss.
December the 25th, I think only became known as Jesus' birthday in around about 300 or 400 AD.
That is correct. 300 to be correct.
So if that's the case, we have to sort of pin a reason why December the 25th is the date we celebrate it.
Well, did you find out?
No, if you've got more information on it, hit me with that and I'll come back to it.
I can add it to that. Because historians believed he was born actually in spring, not winter, for Jesus. Now, they believe that the church adopted the pagan festival called Saturnalia. Mm-hmm. And Saturnalia honoured the god of Saturn with celebrating gift giving. Does that sound familiar?
Oh.
Because gift giving was only adopted later on in the piece, wasn't it?
For the Christian religion, yes. But there was gift giving right back then when they celebrated Saturn and the planets that they thought were gods.
Certainly very bright in the sky.
So there you go. That's where it started. It was only, as you said, 300 AD that actually it was given to Jesus as his birthday. That cat looks really weird, doesn't it?
So Shane's got some runes that he got from the beach pebbles and engraved them. How cool's that?
Oh,
That's really cool.
That's really cool. So yeah, Shane, that's a good idea, isn't it? So if you're down the beach, that's great. Find some nice stones, and if you've got runes, make a rune set out of them. I might do that. And then you can give them as Christmas presents to people who want pebbles off the beach.
The people you don't like is what you're saying, right? I think it's a good idea to make them yourself.
Yeah.
Because nothing's more unique to you.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Charge it
brilliant.
with your own powers.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. So has Craig got anything more?
Well, I think Shane just mentioned that Jesus was supposed to have been born 6 years before the recorded birth date.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of dispute over that.
There is.
I find it unusual that we're celebrating on the 25th of December. Mm-hmm. So a lot of the early suggestions in the Bible was about when Mary was pregnant and what was happening around from a seasonal point of view.
Yep.
So they spoke about things like lambing, they spoke about things like cropping, all those sort of things, which gave that a whole idea that you work 9 months from those events and then you come out to around about Christmas. And what I've found is that it's only 3 days out from the solstice.
Oh,
a lot of people don't make the link.
Yeah.
But December 25th, Christmas, and usually the 22nd or the 21st. So 3 or 4 days out from the solstice. And in the Northern Hemisphere, where a lot of this came from, and even the birth of Christ, you're dealing with the winter solstice, sort of period of time where you've got a lot of festivities, you've got a lot of celebrations, feasting, and feasting is always good. What was that? It went dark.
There was something happening.
That was a bit weird. Uh-oh, we've upset somebody.
Well, the lights are still on, so...
There's no lightning outside at the moment.
That was weird.
Okay.
It did noticeably get darker, didn't it?
Do we have any wandering spirits with us, I wonder, tonight?
I don't know what's going on. All right.
That's a little bit weird. So where were we?
We were talking about winter solstice.
And the sacrifices.
And the sacrifices.
There were sacrifices, and the feasting came with a lot of sacrifices around it.
Oh, okay.
Sacrifices of animals. What they used to do is kill them, eat them, celebrate them, exchange some of their gifts. I don't know what they were giving.
Gifts were, yeah.
They used to reserve the blood of the animal. So they used to keep the animal aside, and they used to decorate all of their stuff and themselves with the blood of the animal.
Okay.
This is going back to the pagan days. This is pre-Christian Christmas.
Well, we've talked about this before, about Christian ceremonies and occasions and stuff like that, that a lot of it was incorporated with pagan festivals. And that's because the church was hoping to take people away from those pagan festivals but not alienate them. So they kind of absorbed them, if you like, into our pagan festivals as well. Linked up.
Well, it's good. If you have a look at some of the traditions that we still have these days for Christmas, like angels on the Christmas tree, the Yule log. You know the Yule log?
Yes, that was a Celtic one.
So we found that, like, back in the good old days of Norse mythology, it's hard to say. I'm lisping a lot tonight, aren't I?
You are.
You're doing a lot of lisping.
In the days of Odin, our good friend the god Odin,
Yes.
him and his
Indeed.
goddess called Frigg.
Didn't know about Frigg, but...
Frigg and Odin, what they used to do around about... It is, it's Frigg and Odin.
Frigg and Odin.
Frigg and Odin, around about the time of the solstice, used to go out and they used to have what is called Odin's Wild Hunt. They used to go cruising out there and round up all the bad souls and take them to the underworld.
Yep.
And if you witnessed that event, you'd be taken along as well.
Oh.
So you don't want to go watching what these guys are doing.
No.
Another tradition that was practiced around the same time as the solstice.
Okay.
So that's why I find it interesting that we're dealing with the solstice around the same time. So at the crop, we're dealing with the cropping, we're dealing with, you know, the middle of winter when you're having the festivities. The pagans sort of did everything at that time. And so we have Christmas as well. So I'm wondering if the dating side of it's a little bit insignificant and it's the actual seasonal side of it which determines the events and the date that we have Christmas. Don't know.
Don't know.
I think it's very interesting because a lot of these things line up strangely.
They do.
Yeah.
And anything else? We're just going to cover you first.
No.
That's it.
So far.
Okay.
I'll chime in with some gems in a minute.
Okay. So we're going back to where do all these traditions start from? And we do all these things like we hang the stockings. And do you know where that comes from?
Hanging people? Did we hang people? Witches?
Well, we did hang.
Did you have to dry the stockings before you...
Oh, no, the stockings originally were off your feet. So you would hang up your stocking or your sock. I mean, your real stocking or your sock. They didn't have decorative ones back then. And there was even the New York Times even mentioned that really stockings and socks weren't very appealing, weren't very good looking. And that was in the 1800s that the New York Times said this. And that's when they started really bringing in the more decorative, traditional stockings that you didn't wear. But actually the smaller socks, if you don't want to give your kids so much, all right, go back to traditional Christmas, put a sock up, see how much you can fit into it. So, but yeah, no, they were just stockings and socks that people wore.
I can remember when I was younger, we used to do socks. But we used
Did
to make,
you?
but
Oh
we used
my
to
God,
make, well, no, we used to make sure that we had those, you know, those long ones that were in at one point, you know, the
Yeah.
really long things, with the stripes on. Yeah, we used to have those.
Oh, okay. I never had a stocking.
I never had a
I
stocking.
don't think I ever had a stocking. I can't remember ever having a
It
stocking.
used to be, it used to have nuts in the bottom and then fruit in it. It was a traditional Christmas stocking.
Your parents didn't like you much, did they?
Apart from the coal, we didn't have coal in it.
Did
so
you
it was
have
all
coal
good.
in your
No, we didn't have
Coal.
coal.
Well, there you go. Well, if you press the coal hard enough, you get a diamond.
So there you go. The kids are much better off because the stockings are full at the moment. Plus, I mean, nobody really knows where the stocking started. There is just kind of stories and rumours that St. Nicholas heard about a father who had 3 daughters. He couldn't afford their dowry because obviously fathers had to pay a dowry back then. So apparently St. Nicholas got onto the roof and dropped some gold coins down the chimney. It varies because some of the stories say he threw them through the window, but they just happened to land in a stocking that was being dried in front of the fireplace, and that's where the tradition came from. So there you go. I think that sounds like a load of rubbish myself, but there you go.
I think it's funny how all
I
these
just like
traditions...
the fact that we do get presents in stockings. So hopefully I've got one this year.
Who from?
Well, I don't know.
Just want to say
Maybe
hello
my
to
wonderful
Belle.
staff who really love me.
Who was that?
Any of the backups?
And Damo, please.
They're way too smart to give you any presents.
And all my other backups I haven't said. So there you go. That's where stockings came from.
I think it's weird to think that all the traditions we get are also changed around from what they used to be.
Yes.
You got this thing that used to be practiced hundreds of thousands of years ago, and all of a sudden we've picked up some bastardized version of it,
Yeah.
which we put into our commercial world now.
That's the thing, the commercialisation of it, isn't it?
Yeah. It's so different to what it was, and it's lost that meaning.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people say that, unfortunately, about the whole Christmas experience. And we find it these days as parents, you get really stressed out, buying presents, all that sort of kerfuffle.
Well, you don't so much when your kids are older.
No, we were talking about this. Those who have young kids, you get stressed out, yes. When you've got older kids, you get stressed out because you don't know what to buy them. Because kids these days...
Yeah, you see, now Alison has this major problem where Alison still has a thought that when your children are older, you still have to have them big presents underneath the tree. And what she's struggling with is the fact that actually when older kids don't want things like that, they want the money because they can do what they want with it then. And that's your problem, is that you just want them to see.
I love to see presents under the tree, that's why.
And so do I. I do.
And it's just really hard. So.
I'm lucky because I've come to terms with that now, that that's what they want, but I still have to go out and buy them bits. But you're at the phase that I was in, at whatever it's called.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard when your children are, they're still your children, but they don't want the big gifts anymore because they can buy whatever they want to buy because they're all working.
So Kag and me went shopping yesterday and it was really hard. Because... yeah, I just haven't got any gifts for it. Sorry, kids, if you're watching this, you're getting nothing. It's like...
Neither am I. I'm just getting cash.
Nicole says there is no single origin for hanging stockings. There are many versions of it in many places. Yeah, that's what I was finding. Just the backstories on St. Nicholas, and that was about all. But there are different versions. Nobody really knows where the stocking actually originated from, but we use it today. Excuse me if we're looking down because this is where your comments are. We only do grandkids just getting together. I do miss, you could buy your kids anything. You could buy them something cheap, wrap it up, stick it under when they were a certain age, and they get, like your kids probably still do. They open their presents and they get so excited. Doesn't matter what you bought them, they're so excited. And now it's like you probably buy something and if you don't get the right thing, it's like, that's nice.
Still at the moment we got to the stage where it's socks, chocks and chocolates, isn't it really? That's about how you can buy them nowadays because they've got everything else they need. So you're lucky that you could still got kids to buy for.
Well, I think I've got a solution to the no presents under a tree things. Buy some cartons of beer and wrap them up for yourself.
Kids are 3 and 4. Shopping for them is a nightmare. I don't think parents can ever do it right, can they? It's a nightmare whatever you do.
It is
Christmas,
hard.
It's a nightmare. I do enjoy Christmas. I didn't used to enjoy Christmas.
Oh my goodness. What sort of animal was that?
We have the cockies arrived. I used to hate Christmas, but I think once I had kids, I learnt to really enjoy it. So I actually look forward to Christmas now.
I used to love Christmas. Now I don't.
No, you do, because I turn up at your house every Christmas.
Oh, yeah, that's one of the reasons why I don't like Christmas.
I hijack her Christmas Day every year. It's great fun. Make sure she's got the rum in, because... All right, carols. Does anybody know when we started singing carols? And if any of you can tell us, the older people then let us know. Carols, again, the singing of carols for your neighbours and door to door started round about the 1800s. It's certainly not an old tradition. Neighbours did actually visit their neighbours, but I don't believe they sang to them. Can you imagine that? If you knocked on the door of your neighbours and said, "Hello, Merry Christmas," and then just burst into song. That would be great. I think I'm going to do that to Kag this year.
I don't think my neighbours would think anything different, to be truthful.
I'm going to sing a carol at your doorstep.
I'm so going to open that door very quickly because it's like...
So, Carols started off as a pagan songs, yeah. No, that the actual carols did, Nicole, definitely. But the tradition of singing them to your neighbours and going door to door, that was from the 1800s. So, of course, Christmas became more commercialised. Christmas trees.
Love
Isn't
Christmas
that
trees.
something to do with Victoria and Albert? No.
The actual
Is that right? I got
the
that
actual
wrong?
dressing and having a Christmas tree, yes, but it goes right back to the ancient pagan festivals, because they used to put an evergreen bough in their houses in winter originally, and that was to remind them that when spring came, even though it was hard times and covered in snow and freezing cold, that the good times would come back, the plants would come back, and harvest would be good. So they used to put a green bough from an evergreen tree in their homes over the winter.
Ah.
It's B-O-U-G-H, not B-O-W-E-L.
Yeah, just in
That's a
case you didn't know
different
how to do bough.
You don't want to put those all over your trees.
You don't, do you?
But you're right, it became popular in England especially. It was already popular in Germany to dress the Christmas tree, but it became popular in England after Queen Victoria actually did that. She dressed a Christmas tree in respect of her husband, who was German, and it took off after that, especially in England. So, and that's how our traditional Christmas tree started in England. I'm going to say England because it was already in Germany and in Europe.
You got to love Victoria, Queen Victoria.
Queen Victoria was brilliant in so many respects. She was.
She actually, for those that didn't come on my history tour to the hospital, she actually started the ladies being able to have anaesthetic for when they were giving birth. They weren't allowed any up till she had one of her children. I think it was 7th out of 9th or 8 out of 9th children.
And after
Leopold,
that,
she was
it
having.
was, apparently women were supposed to feel pain. So it was God's will. The women actually felt the pain of childbirth because of the sins of Eve.
Yes.
And Queen Victoria soon put paid to that. Good on you, Queen Victoria.
1800 years later.
Yeah. So,
Well, if Eve had resisted the temptation, seriously, you girls have got a lot to
I
answer
could get
for.
into the whole series of Lucifer. Have you seen that? That's really good. It's got Eve in it at the moment. I won't get into that. All right. So that was Christmas tree. Do you know that 25 to 30 million Christmas trees in the USA alone are sold each year?
Most of them from Canada.
Which is the most famous Christmas ghost?
The most famous Christmas ghost, I would have said, was
Bob Marley.
Bob Marley from Christmas Carol.
Jacob Marley, not Bob
Jacob
Marley.
Marley.
Bob Marley's a singer. Jacob Marley.
Cut.
Well, he has passed on, hasn't he? He might be around.
What's in your Coke?
It's just a Coke. That's all it is.
Oh dear.
Oh, using special. Yeah, I can't have a real one. I just use. In fact, I even got a proper tree. Mine's just a swirly thingy. I've got a cat.
Gum
So we
tree.
don't have-
Gum tree. Can you
That's a
imagine
good
trying to
idea.
put a gum tree in your house, Nicole? That would be a good idea, though, from a bough. I actually don't use a real tree.
Use skulls.
I've got to say, yeah, that's my tree. I can't poke. I can poke. Oh, I'm looking at that one. That's why it's delayed. That's the one there. Yeah, it's. I don't use real trees. I haven't used real trees for a long time. I just feel sorry for real trees.
I haven't since we were married.
Yeah.
We both,
so-
Hubby and I, have this thing about insects.
Splinters.
So especially, why would you have a real tree in Australia? I'm sorry, just the amount of insects that you have is like. No, sorry, I'm a big girl.
So,
Can't have those bugs coming into your house, can you?
Do any of our tour locations become more active
Ooh.
around Christmas?
I don't know. I've not really taken much notice on that. I would have to go back through our diaries and go back through the Christmas ones. Where we should be playing more Christmas music and seeing if we can get more. Maybe that's because I'm not working over Christmas. I've taken time off, but these two are. So maybe you could well, you are especially working. Maybe you could play some Christmas carols and try the Christmas theme.
Yeah, we could do that.
And see what happens.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Can I just address that for a second?
Yes, you can.
I think
Craig,
when we start...
Can we stop you?
Probably not. Mistletoe. When we start talking about activity around Christmas and around specific times, you can go back to when you're starting to talk about the solstice and the equinox. And when you talk about those specific times around the year, the question becomes, do you get more activity around times which are significant to the movement of the planets? What are your thoughts on that? Yes or no? Does it influence? A lot of people talk about the moon, right? So let's go bigger picture. Let's stop talking about the moon and talk about the whole of the cosmos. Do you think that changes activity? Let's throw it open to the girls.
No, I haven't. I have checked on the moon phases. I have kept patterns on moon phases. Not so much recently, but when I was doing research with PFI and we were keeping patterns, I'm going to be honest, I haven't actually looked at the planet phases.
No, neither have I.
Or maybe there's something you can do, Craig.
What about...
And then let us know in a year or so. Next year, next Christmas, you could tell us how the moon planets... Because not many people know, but Craig actually, what is it, a master's or a degree in...
Physics.
Yeah, but what's the other one?
Astrophysics.
Astrophysics, that's the word. So maybe you can do that for us.
You're not meant to be giving me jobs. You're meant to be taking jobs away from me.
You've just given yourself a job, Craig.
Well, I think it's interesting.
If you throw out something like that, Craig, and we can't
exactly.
answer it, then you've just taken on a whole new job to answer that question.
By that token, I'll just be quiet for the rest of the talk.
So, I don't know. Not clear anything now. That's it. But we will check on that. Yeah, you stole the one on New Logs from me. This is a good one. Leaving milk and cookies for Santa. All right, I might have given a hint on that. We'll be on in an hour and a half, and these are the questions that will come up. All right. Does anybody know why we leave milk and cookies for Santa? And you're not allowed to look at these notes.
Because he's greedy.
Because he's thirsty?
No.
He's hungry.
Where did it start?
Needs a sugar fix?
Where did it start?
I
All right, it goes back to the ancient Norse mythology. So,
Pretty happy with this one,
and we're
actually.
going back to Odin.
Now you're in trouble.
I'm in trouble because my notes just fell off the table. But fortunately, I know it. So what happened was in the Norse mythology, you had Odin, who was obviously a god. And what would happen is young children, because apparently Odin had an 8-legged horse. Did you know that?
Okay.
And when I pick up my notes, I'll be able to give you the name
Of the horse.
of the horse. Because it just fell off. All right. So the name of Odin's horse was... Now, anybody who's into Viking stuff and Norse stuff, I apologise if I say it wrong and pronounce it wrong. But Sleipnir? Is that how you would pronounce that?
Not good with the Germanic languages.
Neither am I do apologise. But Sleipnir. So he was an 8-legged horse that Odin had. And kids would leave treats for the horse in the hope that Odin would be kind to them and leave them gifts in return. Oh. So by leaving the milk and the cookies, it's kind of been taken from the I guess from that and gone from there. So
You would have thought milk and cookies would have been good for a horse, would you?
Well, I don't know.
I mean, he was 8-legged, so...
So a lot of it just go to show that a lot of what we do goes back to pagan, goes back to Norse mythology. It's just that it's kind of been commercialized, and we forget where it originally came. We do it, but we really don't know where it started. So it's quite interesting.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
Norse mythology is fascinating.
It is. Actually, if Mikey's watching, he would probably know a lot of them in Norse mythology.
It's about time for Mikey to go to bed with his extra hours that he's got.
Sleipnir. Thanks, Nicole.
Oh, thanks, Nicole. Yeah, it didn't give me a pronunciation. So Sleipnir. There you go.
You got pretty close.
Sleep, I said. Sleep.
Yeah,
instead
that's the
of
English
sleep.
version.
That's the Yorkshire version.
Yeah.
So. So Advent calendars.
Advent calendars.
Okay.
Where did Advent calendars start?
Yeah,
Well,
okay.
it just used to be pictures, didn't it? Obviously some sort of advertising. You think? So the produce that you could buy in whatever somebody's shop or whatever. I don't know. I'm just putting it out there.
They're actually fairly modern. Started in the 1900s. 1900s. They were started by Gerard Lang. And what happened was his mother had given him. He remembered his mother making this kind of calendar for him. Like it was all it was pictures stuck onto cardboard. But as a child, that was so exciting for a child back then. That's terrible. So he remembered that and eventually started making advent calendars, and that's kind of how it came. Of course, now we put chocolates and everything from chocolates to bits of
Cheese.
Lego and cheese.
You can buy a cheese one.
Can you?
For those of us that are on keto, that's great.
If I'd known that, I would have got one.
I know. Supposedly, one of the there's a cheese that's in it that is absolutely disgusting. Is it Bailey's? I can't remember one of them. There's one that was really strange.
Bailey's? That sounds great. So,
hello everybody.
so there you go. That's the advent calendar. And then we've got mistletoe. When did we start kissing under the mistletoe? In the present day form, obviously, but where was the origin?
Sounds pagan to me.
Of course, everything's pagan.
Sounds
When
very
in doubt, go
pagan.
down the road of pagan.
Well, the Celtics actually saw it as a fertility symbol, and that's because the mistletoe apparently flowered in even the most harshest and coldest of months.
So it's actually a fungus, isn't it? It's not a proper plant. It doesn't attach
It's
itself
not
to our oak
no,
trees.
Yeah, it's not fungus. It's what's the word? Michael would know.
Kissing under the fungus. Doesn't sound good.
It's not
But
fungus.
It's not a.
Somebody might be able to tell us.
It
It's not
attaches
a fungus,
itself to, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a. It's not a.
Yeah, I know what I mean.
I know what you mean, but I can't say the words.
No, I can't either.
'cause, yeah, Craig.
Oh, so Harry Potter Lego advent calendar.
Ooh,
That's
except I don't.
That's very unique.
Yeah, it is. Not that I'm into Lego, but so yeah, it would blossom during the coldest months, and they saw it as a fertility thing.
parasitic plant.
A parasitic. Thank you, Karen. That's the word I was looking for. So, no one's really sure where the smooching started, but it is said that in the 18th century, amongst servants, they would kind of do the smooching thing under the mistletoe, and eventually it spread to the people who they were serving, and then it went from there. But it would give the young men an opportunity to ask for a kiss from the ladies that they would like to kiss. And apparently, if the ladies refused them, that's meant that they were going to get really bad luck.
For the ladies or the guys?
No, the guys.
Oh.
So if you wanted to kiss me, Craig, God forbid, then if I knocked you back,
You're in a lot of trouble.
no, you're in a lot of
Oh,
trouble.
damn.
Because
Well,
you would get
Craig
all
would be
this
actually
bad
going
luck.
away skipping, wouldn't you? Really?
I'll be having a good year.
You say that, Craig.
We need some mistletoe.
I know you worship the ground I walk on. My staff love me.
Love is a very rubbery word, isn't it?
So yeah, that's where mistletoe came from. So there you go. Shane Potter replying to Karen Griffiths. Yep. Yeah, thank you, Shane. If Michael was here, which he is, he's just kind of in the other room keeping quiet.
He's drinking.
He's drinking, actually, probably. Then he would be able to tell you even the Latin name, I would think, and what exactly Latin name of the trees that they were. It attaches itself to, because Michael's good at that.
You know what's really weird is we had to do some independent research on all these topics here, and we've come up with a lot of common ones.
We have. Considering you weren't supposed to be researching that bit.
No.
What were you supposed to be researching, Craig?
I don't know. The NBN went down and I got in trouble. I was looking in books and seeing what's there.
He was actually researching what I've got, but there you go. 12 Days of Christmas.
What?
12 days of Christmas, my
Oh,
true love
God.
gave to me.
A partridge in a pear tree.
Where did that come from?
Oh, it's painful. What, you're singing?
No.
The song or the imagery in the song?
Well, the song was fairly recent. Well, not fairly recent, but the song was in the 1800s or somewhere about. I could be wrong on that. But I'm talking about, where did the 12 Days of Christmas come from, and what do the 12 Days of Christmas stand for? And what are the dates of the 12 Days of Christmas? So,
Don't know, it's not something I ever thought about, to be truthful. It's always just been a song.
Nicole, Craig will always wear his sunglasses, all right? A nice answer, Nicole. When does he not wear sunglasses inside? It's kind of a thing Craig does.
The lights are bright.
Because we do have we have these two. Oh no, that one's gone off. We have a bright light there that's trying to light us up at the moment. So Craig will insist on wearing sunglasses. So. And being a Christmas Grinch. Mm-hmm. All right. So.
I don't believe I'm the Grinch here.
Well, what do you mean you're not the Grinch? Where's your Christmas? Where's your Christmas spirit?
Yeah, I've never seen that movie with a Grinch
Neither
in it.
have I.
So I'm just assuming it's a grumpy little thing.
Yeah. Don't you read The Grinch to your kids?
No. What era do you think we live in?
12 Days of Christmas.
12 Days of Christmas. I haven't got a clue. Okay. To me, it's always ever just been a song.
When does the first day of Christmas of that 12 days actually start?
Yeah. Nicole knows what's going on.
Nicole does. Nicole, you're really well up on Christmas. I love it. It starts actually on Christmas Day and goes right through till the 5th of January. Now, I always thought it was the 1st of January, to be honest, because I always learned when I was a kid that you must have your Christmas decorations down by the 1st of January. Because if you didn't, you would have bad luck. Mm-hmm. But now I'm finding it. Why are you looking at me like that?
Because everybody else got it the right date. That's why. Everybody else got it. They know it's not the 1st of January. Mine comes down on the 1st of January because I'm sick to death of seeing it by the time I get to there. In fact, it would come down Boxing Day if I wasn't busy. If I wasn't working on Boxing Day, everybody's bored on Boxing Day. Come and join me at Edward.
Yeah, we've got tours on Boxing Day. Actually, I leave my Christmas tree up for as long as I can because I love the flashy lights. They're so pretty. So, but yeah, there you go. Christmas to the 5th of January. And do you know why it's 12 days? Do you know what the 12 days actually represent?
Is it apostles? No. Is it 12?
Reaping the souls of the dead?
No.
It actually represents a feast day for a saint or other celebration. For instance, the 5th day of Christmas, which is the 29th, was Thomas à Becket.
Oh, is that him had his head chopped off?
Yep, that he was Thomas à Becket in 1170 was actually, they came in and they pretty much hacked him to death.
I've been in the church where he died.
Have you? Okay. Well, we must go there next time. Yeah, he was murdered. He was pretty much stabbed to death and hacked to death and nearly had his head cut off if he didn't have it all cut off.
They did have it cut off.
He did have it cut off. All because he spoke out against... What's that one?
My father takes all the Christmas decorations straight down after lunch on Christmas Day.
Oh, no, that's terrible. I've embraced Christmas. He challenged the king's authority over the church. So he was murdered, and that's the 5th day of Christmas. So St. Thomas a Becket, he became a saint. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of saints as you go through. So that's where it came from.
Mm.
Good old St. Thomas.
You give me a day for Christmas and I will tell you what saint that day represents. So there you go. There's a challenge for you. If I haven't dropped the paperwork on the floor. No, there it is. Right there. There's probably some interesting ones on there. There was another interesting one. Pope Sylvester. Day 6 is Saint Egwin of Worcester.
Worcester.
Yeah.
Egwin.
Are they all English?
Well, I didn't. Oh no, one's Luxembourg. No, there wouldn't be because.
Close.
Day 4 is the Feast of the Holy Innocents, and when people remember the baby boys which King Herod killed when he was trying to find and kill baby Jesus.
Oh.
That's really interesting, though, isn't it? Because we all think 12 days of Christmas, we get this gift, that gift from that song, but it's actually celebrating certain things.
I got an objection to St. Egwin.
I'd like to know what St. Egwin did, because it doesn't say there.
Is that where they made the sauce in Worcester?
Worcester sauce is lovely. You put that in all sorts of things, it tastes so much better. So,
Or Worcester sauce. Gorgeous. My favourite.
It's not vegetarian.
keto.
Keto.
No, it's not.
It's not keto.
No, it's not keto. Kag's desperate to get in here on what she's learned.
No, I'm not. I'm just waiting for you
I'm
guys
nearly
to finish.
finished. Yule logs, advent calendar, eggnog.
Love eggnog.
Why do we do eggnog?
Because we copy it from America.
No. It was originally called posset.
Oh, I've heard of posset.
Have you? Okay. Which is a drink made of eggs, milk, and figs added as well. And
That's
sherry.
lovely. I used to have egg milk and sherry when I was younger.
Okay. It used to be rum, but they couldn't afford rum, so eventually the poor people put sherry in it because they could
That's
afford
why we
that.
had sherry in ours then.
And it was only afforded by the rich to celebrate originally. So I don't know who thought about putting raw eggs into an alcoholic drink.
Can I just say, when I was swimming...
All I can think about is food poisoning. And
When I was swimming, my dad used to make us egg milk and sherry. And they used to blend it all up. And then we used to drink it. Don't know why we gave us egg milk and sherry. It wasn't that bad tasting. But yeah, raw egg is not a good idea, is it?
No.
But we all had it.
Yeah, no.
So as a child, I used to drink raw egg.
Correct.
There's lots of things on what noggin eggnog means. You found a different saying to what I found. I found that noggin was actually short for a wooden cup, which they would have used back then. Nog was short for alcohol or beer, so cup of beer or cup of alcohol. I think you found a different one along the way.
Yeah, but also where we come from, noggin's your head.
Yeah, it's been adapted. I don't know why. Is that because
Yeah.
it's wood?
Probably. You know how people say, "I'll touch wood." We'll say if you hit your noggin, it means you hit your head. Or maybe if you hit your noggin when you're in a drunken stupor.
Could be.
Oh, well, could be that. Yeah.
So,
Very strange.
Christmas cards. Last one for me, I think. And then we can go to... Because Craig stole my thunder with everything else at the beginning.
Well, I had to because you've been rambling about all that stuff.
He went on about something else. All right, Christmas cards. Recent tradition.
Are you asking a question or
Does that
making
to
a
do with
statement?
the war? The pigs? No, so it goes further back than that, doesn't it?
No, actually, the Christmas cards... actually, they were dating from about 1843.
You can actually buy eggnog, Nicole, in the supermarkets.
Oh, yes, you can.
I never had eggnog till I actually came to Australia. So yeah, you can buy eggnog. What I like to do is actually put alcohol in it.
Yeah, well, I think that's the whole point of it, isn't it?
Well, yeah, you can not suppose we don't. We can buy it actually with brand with
Yeah.
with rum in it, isn't it?
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Snowballs. Oh, snowballs. Oh, we need to find some avocado liqueur. All right, Christmas cards. So the first Christmas cards were 1840. Or first Christmas card was 1843. And it was actually designed by an Englishman called Horsley. He printed about 1,000 cards back then, and it took off. They sold out back in 1843. So they realised they were onto a good thing, and of course Christmas cards took off from there. He thought, yeah, you just print off 1,000 cards to greet family, but yeah, it sold out. So about 1843 is when the first Christmas card came about.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so it's not anything, there's not anything behind it. It's not a pagan thing or anything like that. It was just, yeah, he did that and off it went. Some people have good ideas and it just, boom, off it goes.
They used to drink beer, but also over there they would have had whiskey, they would have had mead,
rum. They had a lot of rum.
Brandy type thing, anything like that. They would have had all sorts of alcohol.
In fact, we better not say because it's a present.
Yeah, that's true. There's a present.
We won't say. Next time we'll say, but not this time.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. That's me finished. That's some of the traditions that we do, but we really don't think about why we do them. Where do they come from? So Craig's done his. Now we're going to hand over to Cag.
Yeah, well, I'm going to do pink Moscato.
Pink Moscato.
Ah. All right, so I'm just going to do. I'm going to start off with people that were born on Christmas Day. All right, so I'm going to go back to 1642.
You can't claim Jesus because we just worked that one out that he wasn't.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not going to do Jesus because I was trumped on that one.
Got some more loth as we go through.
The 1642, Isaac Newton.
Oh, he was born on Christmas Day.
Yeah, how cool is that? Very clever guy.
Oh, there you go.
I like him, and he did that thing anyway.
He did what thing? Can you be a little more? He did that thing.
He did a thing.
He did a thing.
Yeah.
He did. What did he actually do, Cag?
Well, isn't that thing with the balls that you not? What's it called? Isn't that?
Formulated the theory of gravity.
That's the one. Yeah. Thank you.
We'll go with that one.
It's good.
And he did have the Newton's balls. That's
it. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I can't remember what they're called, but the ball. That's pretty cool. So yes, he did
It's
that.
a good job we've got a.
I know, a clever person because we need that.
Yeah.
Humphrey Bogart was born on Christmas Day, the actor.
Okay.
1899,
Cool.
yeah. And Annie Lennox, the singer, 1954. She was born on Christmas Day. Okay. So, and we've got some deaths as well. So I want to talk about Charlie Chaplin.
Oh, yes.
Charlie Chaplin passed away. Now, I thought it was just, he died in...
He passed away.
What? What's the matter?
Charlie Chaplin passed away. You just said it as if it's...
Oh, sorry. But I just
like,
thought...
yeah.
Did he make any noises when he did it?
How old would he be
Well,
now?
he died in 1977. And I just thought that he was an actor that, just retired and died. But he's actually got quite a good story attached to him after his filming career finished. You guys, stop it. Seriously. So he was actually born in England. He was born into poverty in England. He loved being on stage and eventually ended up going over to America. And obviously we know that he ended up playing the tramp, the famous role of playing the tramp. But then he became a bit of a controversial figure and he got into politics. And also he was renowned for marrying women that were much, much younger than he was.
How many?
Well, you don't know. He didn't say. Just said many women.
Many.
At once?
Maybe that's probably why the FBI was after him. The FBI was chasing him. He ended up going to Switzerland. And that's where he ended his days. He died of a stroke there at the age of 88.
Oh.
So that was a bit more. I thought it would be just quite a boring story with him, but obviously not. So.
Obviously not.
James Brown, the singer. He was actually born in... he died in 2006. And again, so he was a rhythm and blues guy. Really, really cool. It's a Man's World. It's one of his songs that he sang. Remember that one?
It's a mad
Can you sing it?
Man's World. No, I'm not going to sing it, no.
I recognise it, but hear it.
But he actually ended up getting into trouble as well with the police. He actually held up, he was going through a lot of bad time. He actually held up an insurance seminar with a gun. And ended up in a car chase with the police, and he was had about a year or so in prison. And then when he came out a few years later, he ended up letting off a gun and ended up in another police chase and ended up in rehab. So, and he died of pneumonia at the age of 73. Bless
Well, he
him.
got to an old age, so that's all right.
And George Michael.
George Michael, that was a big loss.
Yeah, 2016.
Yeah.
He's famous for his most famous Christmas
I
song
love
ever.
that Christmas. One of the most played Christmas songs, I think. Last Christmas,
I gave you my heart, but the very next day you gave it away.
Can we
This
get
year,
on
to
the
stop me from
important
tears,
stuff, please?
I'll give it to someone
I
special.
don't know the rest of the words, so I'll just hum.
Face of it. Oh no, good.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So-
he died, especially of heart failure at the age of only 53.
Oh, very
Died
young.
of
He's
heart
actually
failure.
younger
What was he
than
doing
I
at the
am.
time?
What's he doing at the time? I don't know. I don't like to ask. Okay, I wasn't going into that and delving into that one any further.
He has a history.
Yeah. Talking of deaths, we did find an article of people dying in chimneys.
Oh, yes, that was rather interesting.
There's a lot of people
There
dying in
is.
chimneys. In fact, there was one that he was going to burgle a house. He went down the chimney. He got stuck. And unbeknown to the homeowner set the fire going.
Yeah.
And he actually died of smoke inhalation.
And yeah, the heat and the smoke.
Yeah,
By the time
so-
they found him, they could hear this screaming.
Which is a bit sad, isn't it?
I mean, we shouldn't laugh. It's
No.
really bad. He shouldn't have been burgling the house, though.
No. They always say not to go down somebody's chimney unless you're going to go into a castle chimney, because it's only castle chimneys that are actually wide enough for you to get down.
Yeah.
House chimneys actually tend to have a bend in them, and that's why people get stuck. Even back in the day when they used to have children doing the chimney sweeps, they used to get stuck, and that's where the
my
word
gosh,
stuck come
yeah.
from.
The word stuck, it used to be stick, and then they got, it came from the fact that a lot of chimney sweeps, well, not a lot, but there were a lot of death. They used to put the little children up the chimneys, but when they got stuck, that's not nice, Craig. Why are you
I always have
laughing?
this image of someone stuffing a child up the chimney.
That's what they used to
did.
do. They
With
did.
the little brooms. Why they couldn't just put the brooms up on a long stick, I don't know. Well, I guess they didn't have plastic and stuff then to put them up. But
It's
they
more
used to
fun shoving the kids up.
sticking the kids up the chimney or down the chimney. There's a position the kids could get into where their knees were very high up if they get stuck close to their chest. And what that would mean is they would asphyxiate because their diaphragm couldn't actually expand to get the air. And it was quite common. It was quite awful to read, wasn't it? Yeah.
So the word stuck meant that you couldn't move them at all,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
They couldn't move forward or backwards. And
Yeah.
it's just, the term stuck came about
Yeah.
because of the chimney sweeps, really.
So that's really sad.
I'm just watching, I'm just seeing what you're talking about our singing. Thank you, Nicole.
In
I hope you enjoyed it.
1986 in Florida, there was a gentleman decided he was going to burgle a property. He went down the chimney. He got stuck, or partway down the chimney, he got stuck. Now, the people that owned the house were away. So neighbours heard screaming. They came out. Obviously, they couldn't see anything wrong, so they just ignored it. And then a couple of days later, some workmen came to do some work to the property, and they could hear tapping and moaning. Completely ignored it, just thought it was, something somewhere else. And then the people who owned the property came back a few days after that, and they could smell something really, really awful, and that's because the poor guy had passed away in the chimney. So there's a lot of people passing away in chimneys. But my favourite one is to do
I
with...
have a chimney. Maybe I should have put my kids up. Clean it. Carry on.
Anyway, my favourite story is to do with a guy in London. For some reason, he was sat on the roof. Now, some of these old apartments...
Because that's what you do. You sit
Yeah.
on the roof. You sit on the roof.
Some of
and
these
then-
old apartments, you can actually go into the roof areas, though, can't you? So they might have that. He was sat on the roof. What he decided to do was going to sit on the edge of the chimney. So it's like he got his feet in the jacuzzi. So he just sat there like that. Next thing he knew, he actually fell into the chimney. But what stopped him was the fact it had a bend in it. And that stopped him going any further. But his feet were hanging down at the bottom of the fireplace. So he was rescued. So that was all good. So the moral of the story is, Don't
Why
burgle.
would you sit up on the roof and dangle your
He called
feet
him. No, what did he call himself?
in a chimney?
Yeah, he just said he was just being stupid.
He did say, yeah, okay.
He did. He did say he was
At
just
least he
being
admitted
stupid.
to it.
Yeah.
It's just,
But one, don't burgle houses, and two, if you're going to do it, don't go down a chimney to do it because it's not a very good.
no.
Not very good at
No.
all. So no, not in the slightest. So. Oh, and also, did you know
Shane, you would enjoy singing with us.
you would?
I think we should go do.
Dear to
Dear.
dear.
Dear to dear. I don't even know if that's a word.
Did you know that between
Sounds
November and December, there's almost 15,000 people visit hospitals and emergency rooms due to putting up decorations?
Oh, really?
It's a dangerous job. You go to the top of the tree and all of a sudden the things fall down.
Well, you can't, because you try and hold on to the tree, but the tree moves,
Christmas
doesn't
is
it?
dangerous, isn't it?
It is. It's very dangerous.
Did you know that they actually banned tinsel for a while?
I'd heard that.
Yeah. So what happened was
Too shiny.
tinsel originally was made out of silver, which is good because you wouldn't want to get rid of it, but it was originally made out of silver. And then America actually banned it because it had lead in it as well, and they were frightened of lead poisoning. So for a while, tinsel was banned in the USA because of the lead in it. It's made out of plastic now.
Yeah,
We're
it
safe.
is now. I
I
can't,
wish it was still made out of silver, maybe gold.
I can't stand tinsel any way, shape, or
Oh,
form.
she's
So
got
I
a
will
real
not have
phobia
anything to do.
against it.
I will not have anything to do with tinsel in my house whatsoever, and especially multicoloured.
My kids won't either.
No.
I think I traumatised my kids with tinsel.
You see, I was brought up in a house that where my mum had multicoloured different strands of tinsel with multi-different coloured lights.
Hello, Mrs.
And-
Allwood.
and now all of us, all my brothers and I, we all have plain trees, white lights. We don't we don't do colours.
Yeah,
No,
that's sad.
no, not in the slightest. So I've got a good one actually here.
Shane said he loves how you just forge ahead
I
despite
do.
our,
I just ignore them. It's all
despite
good.
our heckling.
Yeah, I do. It's just not worth it. How about a space one? Christmas in space. I love this one.
Ooh.
Do you know about a Christmas in space?
Do you
Christmas
have
in
Christmas
space.
in space?
Yeah. Well, Gemini 6, which was a spacecraft, was launched into space just after Gemini 7. All right. And what they had to do, they had to sort of dock together. So there was a lot of really intricate movements and trying to get them to dock.
I'm
All
gonna
right.
just say, Billy, hi.
Hello, Billy.
Crank. Oh, we so have to get back to
Tinsel is messy. Yes. Yes.
Carry on.
Okay.
I just had to say hello to Billy because I don't
Yes.
see him on often. And Billy, we do miss you. Billy is where we go for Scarefest and we catch up.
So they docked together, and it's getting to the stage where both the aircraft and spaceships were actually going back into entering Earth's atmosphere, re-entering. When is it pilot? What is it when you commander?
Yep.
Commander.
Whatever.
Commander of the
Like
ship.
in charge.
He
The
radioed
spaceman.
the
Spaceman.
spaceman.
It was a spaceman.
He contacted Mission Control to report the following. Now, I'm going to have to read this because I want to get it word for word. So just think of this, okay? So he's just reporting. He went, "We have an object. Looks like a satellite going from north to south. Probably in polar orbit. Looks like he might be going to re-enter soon. You just might let me pick up that thing. I see a command module and 8 smaller modules in front. The pilot of the command is wearing a red suit." And then him and his co-pilot started playing a song using a harmonica and some jingle bells. Started playing jingle bells. So they're actually playing a practical joke on the command centre, which I don't think would have gone down really,
it
really
nearly
well.
went very wrong. It got very tense.
Yeah, so it's not a good idea to do that. So
Not from space. So even the spacemen have fun. Should we say astronauts or spacemen?
Spaceman.
I think spacemen.
Yeah, sounds better.
It does. You know, we haven't been answering any questions. We do apologise. We've kind of been
No, we have.
forging through here. So, is that all you have for Christmas, Keg?
Yeah, there's one or two weird things, but I mean,
All right.
I've got.
I might go back. We're going to go back through some of your stuff and just see what.
Oh, why are
we've
you
got.
doing that? Do you want me to do about the unofficial ceasefire in the wall?
Oh, I love that one. Yep.
Yeah, so
Okay, Kate's
early.
going to do that while I go through these.
All right, so I'm just going to do about 1914, early on during the war there. On the Western Front, there was an unofficial ceasefire. So what was happening was the German soldiers started to light up their trenches and some of the trees around them with candles, started shouting Merry Christmas in their own, obviously in German, across to everybody else. Eventually, after being a bit wary of each other, they decided to get up into no man's land, and supposedly there they exchanged gifts, as in food rations, cigarettes, buttons, any souvenirs that they've got as well, and started singing carols and had a bit of a footy match as well, which might have been a bit difficult because it wouldn't have been very level ground there, but how cool is that, to actually stop a war? Was only parts that would stop. The rest of it was still going off in other areas. But how cool is that? They actually stopped fighting.
I think that's amazing. That when you're in the heat of war and you really are, you're just killing and devastating each other, that you just lay everything down and become friends for just that short period of time.
And it allowed them to retrieve.
And then go, that's a sad thing. You know, I would find that hard as a soldier.
Yeah.
If you've just shared cigarettes with your enemy and you've just spent that time with your enemy.
And then you've got to go back to.
And you know now they're people. And then you've got to go back to your trenches. And then you've got to start killing each other again. I don't know. That would be really hard. Once you,
Yeah. I mean, it was against all rules and regulations. They weren't allowed to do that. But it did give them time to retrieve some of the bodies, to actually swap prisoners as well.
Yeah.
And bury some of the people. So very sad indeed. But such a nice thought, though, isn't it? They could do that.
You'd think if they all did that, the war would finish.
Yes.
If it was left up to normal people, not governments, maybe we wouldn't have quite so many wars, but there you go. All right, so there's no real questions. So I guess we should start winding up. I don't know. We haven't got a clock running, guys, so we're not actually sure how long we've been on. But there you go. We've been enjoying it. Oh, 1 hour, 12 minutes, apparently.
Oh, my gosh, where'd that go?
Well, no, because 12 minutes we stuffed up completely and started
again.
broadcasting on Clag's page instead of Haunted Horizons. So we've been on for about an hour. That's been...
Boring everyone.
Boring everybody. It's like so. But hey, we've had fun looking at the traditions and where they've come from. And another tradition is telling ghost stories.
Yes.
At Christmas.
It is. Isn't it?
And we've
it's
lost
a Scottish
that tradition. Yeah.
It's a Scottish tradition.
Sitting down. Well, no, it wasn't. It was a English tradition as well, I believe. And it was sitting down. It was a Victorian thing, sitting down and telling a ghost. Although they do say it goes back a lot further, but they do tell the stories. Actually, we started doing it at we were going to do it at Glenbar. We ran out of time last Christmas, didn't we?
Yeah, I had got...
which is a big plug for Saturday. We've got 3 spots left for the Glenbar Christmas do, so which will be 2 hours of a meal and then 4 hours of investigation. Had to plug.
Yeah.
It's good fun, though.
It is good fun.
Yeah.
I love Glenbar. So unique, Glenbar. It's so different.
And we're down there Friday night, so we'll see if we can get some things fired up for you.
Yes, please, if you could do that.
Oh my God, I can
So
hear
Craig's
it.
there Friday night if you just want a 4-hour one. And then I'm there Saturday.
And we'll see whether we can get some of the little friends in the cellar fired up for you.
Cool.
So, Keg, didn't you find a story for us?
A ghost story? I like your ghost
Well,
stories.
it wasn't so much ghost stories and
I
mystery.
did, but I put it on my phone.
Oh.
Which is actually doing the videotape.
It is doing the videotaping.
Well, that's no good, is it?
So is that the one with the
Children that disappeared. Can I hear things crunching and like eating? Or is
That's
that
that's
your
my feet.
Cag's bones.
It sounded like something crunching. Well, cake's no good, really.
What?
Okay, I'm going to put it out there. Have any of you ever had a paranormal experience on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day? So, like a dead relative. Any experiences with a dead relative that maybe chose to visit, chose to make themselves known? Have you ever had anything that stands out on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day?
No. No, I guess you're not really looking for it either,
No.
eh? It's got to be something pretty dramatic for people to
Well,
remember
no,
it.
if you've got a dead relative, you may do.
I've just found a quick one, guys.
Have you?
On
Excellent.
2011 in America.
Oh.
So it's quite a recent one. There was a lady called Michelle. She was 7 years old. She was down on her luck. Now, somebody that she knew called Patty decided that she would be a good Samaritan, and she offered for her to live in her house with her. All she had to do was do some chores so I could pay away, which was going really, really well. But Michelle's twin brother got quite suspicious about what was going on. So one day he went round to the house. Now Michelle's car was still there, her dog was still there. But when he went into the house, it was very, very strange indeed. And he saw a pile of Christmas presents underneath the tree. And he tried to work out why it looked a bit strange, and that's because there was 2 feet sticking out from underneath the Christmas presents. And unfortunately, that's where his sister was. His lovely good Samaritan had bludgeoned her to death.
Oh,
So not nice. So just be
No.
careful.
always look under your Christmas tree, under the presents. You never know what you might find. Nicole. Yeah, Shane said he's affected by a lot of Christmas spirits, as are a lot of us. Nicole says, I have a horror story. Are you all right? We'll read it out, Nicole, just for those, because this is going to...
Oh,
Uh-oh.
Okay. It's fun time. All the good people were watching.
Doing live feed before Christmas, and when all of a sudden the power went out.
that's a blessing.
That would be a blessing for everybody, Nicole. So Nicole's put, once upon a time, and this is because the YouTube people won't see these comments, so I have to read them out. Once upon a time, all the good people were watching AHH doing a live video before Christmas, and all of a sudden, the power went out. Actually, the light did go out. How did you know? The light went out. So, just a little while ago, didn't it?
I think there's a spirit around and they're not happy.
they're
So
not
who have you
happy.
offended recently?
I offend everybody.
Scar.
I have a long list of people I offend. So, something scary. Ghost hunting is not a real job. It depends. Depends, doesn't it? Depends
Well-
whether you're coming looking for ghosts or whether you're actually running them. So otherwise, it would be-
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
I think it's good fun though.
It's good fun.
Yeah,
It's good
I mean,
fun.
how often do you get the chance to be able to do that as part of your work?
yeah, exactly.
And something you're really passionate
to do
about.
something that you love.
and be able
And get
to share that excitement.
Yeah, exactly.
And that, and to go around the world, Kag, as well.
Yeah.
Because you and I and Craig joins us from time to time. We get to go around the world. We get to go into all these heritage places. It's just huge fun. And plus we managed to support charity with it as well. How cool is that? And I've just put up about the Humbug Scrub book because we did raise $6,000 for the CFS Foundation. We've given about $8,000 to $10,000 to Beyond Blue. We also managed to give $20,000 worth of medical equipment this year. We're so proud, from the hospital tours that we did. And we also gave $5,000 to the Royal Flying Doctors. So not a real job, but doing good nonetheless. So very easy to sit at home.
Yeah, it may not be a real job, but it is. I wouldn't change it.
Yeah.
Would you?
No, God no.
I wouldn't change it.
I love it.
No.
I just love it. It's, 9-to-5 job would be so boring for me. I couldn't go back to being under a boss anymore, and I couldn't be bothered about, So hopefully we do a lot of good as well.
We tell the story of the people that were there, and that's a lot of the thing, was tell the story of the people that were in the buildings.
We do. It's not just about ghost hunting. That's not just what we do. We do a lot of history. I'm on heritage committees. How do you get a younger generation really interested in their history? It's really difficult. So unless you do the dark tourism, the historical, horrible history, then it's nothing new. We do have a line we don't step over, but ghosts and dark tourism actually brings people to these heritage places, I find. It's a whole new episode on that, actually. So, but along the way, we have a lot of fun as well. So
there's such an interest in it. We're finding every time we do a tour or do an investigation, or even when you do live feeds, so many people are interested in the subject matter, and most people are asking questions themselves for it. So I think a lot of the tours, we tell the stories of the facility where we are, and some of the experiences that people have had on the tours, of course. But, I just think it's just an amazing way of keeping different venues, different, philosophies alive. It's just great being part of it. Not everyone's into ghost hunting, not everyone believes and stuff. But
and that's fine. I always say, you should stay skeptical, guys. Always stay skeptical. And I even say that on the tours, because most people think, I'm going to say it, I went down to do something the other day. I'm going to say it. I don't care. I went to have a medical thing. I've got a bad bung shoulder. And as soon as the doctor, I'm going to say it, because he shouldn't have done it.
Exactly.
The doctor said,
It's
what
so
do you do?
rude.
And I said, well, I do ghost tours. And immediately he judged what we did. He said, what, through cemeteries? And I said, no, we don't do cemeteries, because at the end of the day, I have ethics, and I'm not going to cross the line by doing cemeteries where people's loved ones are. And he said, well, where do you do? And I said, Zedport. And he said, you say you haven't got ethics. And it's like, yeah, but that's paying for the history. I'm on the Heritage Committee for projects for that building, for future generations. We're paying for Beyond Blue for that. And it's just like, unless you know what we do, then don't judge. It's not quite what you think. So,
I had a guy when I went shopping.
Oh, you had a guy when you went shopping,
having a go at me about, because he just saw the car.
Yeah.
And I sat down with him and told him what we do and how much money you give to charity. And he ended up in tears.
Yeah.
I ended up having to give him a hug
Mind
and
you,
say goodbye.
I'd be in tears if I talked to you.
Yeah.
Well,
you
know,
You did punch him though.
But that's the trouble. People judge without asking.
Yeah.
And you need to come on the tour and see.
And
what we
from
do.
their own belief system as well.
Yeah.
So, and that's fine. Look, be skeptical. That's great. I'm skeptical. I am. Unless it happens to me, I'm what we call a skeptical believer.
Yeah.
It's like, I know the stuff that science hasn't explained everything yet. We're in these places all the time. What it is, I don't know. But yeah, you should question. So it's all cool. It's all cool with the questioning. All right, well.
I think we've
Oh
finished.
my God, the light is making a strange sound. Something is making a strange sound.
Told you,
over here.
it's someone behind us. Someone's here. Who is it? Clegg, have you brought someone with you tonight?
Poor, nobody wants to attach themselves to me. It's all good.
All right, well, we've been on long enough. We've been on longer than we normally are. So there you go. You got an extended version. Probably bored everybody to death for the last
Punishment for everyone.
hour and a half or whatever. But hopefully enjoyed. This is the last one. We are going to try and change it a little bit. The next one we want to try and get a guest on. We're not going to say who yet, because we just got to get them to say yes. We want to go forward in the new year and get more guests on the podcast, but we want to get not the people that everybody gets, the famous people. We want to try and get really interesting, different point of views. So we already have 2 lined up, hopefully for the new year, which we haven't told Craig about yet, but we will. we'll fill him in soon. If you've got anybody who you think would fit that bill, who you'd like to see on here, us interviewing, we'll try and do it either over the phone, so it doesn't have to be in Adelaide, or on here. Then let us know, and we'll approach them and see if they would do it. So, interesting people who you may have heard of, you may not have heard of, but have really interesting views or research that really we don't get to hear about. So I want to try and bring those people to the front. We've got Merry Christmas, guys. I'll book into another tour again soon. Excellent. We do have, hopefully in April, Easter, we hopefully have the two guys from Paranormal Quest coming. We're just working on that at the moment, the logistics of bringing those two over. So if you haven't seen that, look them up. They're absolutely wonderful. But I guess we should start signing off. So
Merry Christmas
Merry
to everybody.
Merry Christmas to
Merry
everybody.
Christmas.